Well, let's start, and if you don't put that, hold it.
Yeah, I don't have.
Yeah. Super. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry that we're going to have a very small place today, but that makes you all feel really nice and comfortable together. And if it's going to be very hot, we're going to have to open windows. And although you probably had your coffee, you can run in and out and get coffees if you want. That's totally okay with me. Okay, so I'm going to have a small welcome to all of you here and see which things that we're going to go through today. Okay, so first of all, I want to give a big thank you to my group and to everybody that is here. All of these ones you will see around here, sitting around and helping around. And also I have put some email addresses for them. So a special thank to Sara, Sini, Robin, Manal, Christina, that have really put in a lot of effort to make this meeting once again possible. And Yannick also, who was here this morning with the registration. And then also we actually have a second part of the DogRisk group here today. So we have some new members that are working with our other kind of projects that don't have to do with dog food, but they are working with these dogs that alarm for diseases. And most of the ones that we've been working with have been with pain dogs. But now we also have Petri Turtiainen here with his black lab in the back there. And we have Ria here today. She might be also on internet. And then Pia Siljamäki is also at home. And then Nona is having a talk at the pain hospital today, so she will be in a bit later. And then Johanna, actually, as we speak, are lecturing for our students about dog food. So we will have some students that will come in tomorrow, but most of them are actually having dog nutrition in school today. But they have signed up for looking at these lectures later on, so we're very happy about that. Then also we want to thank all the people that help us. So we have Nature's Variety and Their Instinct Foods, Mush in Finland, Pala Pet Food Finland, Estonia, and Moomin Characters in Finland, Mega Airline in Finland. Is Sanna here today, or she's maybe coming later? So, she's in. Good. Yeah, so she's in the cafe preparing for us for coming there tonight. And I just wanted to show you a bit in a kind of a very messy slide what DogRisk does. So as you can see, it's very kind of complex. We look at risk factors, health and disease, and then the biology and the metabolomics and things all everywhere in between, and gene expression. And what we really do is that we're testing surveys, we're doing surveys, we're having a very big survey that Sini is kind of preparing for us on a platform where we can use it kind of securely with the kind of new regulations about things have to be very secure with owner data, although we only really have data about the dogs, but there are some questions also that has to do with the owners. And then we also do clinical trials where we take a lot of samples and then look at the whole metabolomics in between. And when we do these trials, they're usually diet intervention trials, and we're just going to start one on obese dogs. So if you're in Finland and you have some obese dogs that could be used either by people you know. Of course, most of your friends will, of course, be slim. Friends' dogs will, of course, be slim and well fit because they eat good food. But those that you haven't been able to persuade into changing into a good food yet, they might be still obese. So those we need. And then, as I said, we have these pain alarming or fatigue alarming dogs. Then, so why do we need to do research? There is actually, these are things that were in the first kind of research article that was a peer-reviewed good article. These were mentioned as anecdotal kind of things that happen when dogs are on raw food. And none of them have really been kind of tested yet and in clinical trials. So there's very little research still. So we still have a lot of things that we have to do. And because there's so little research, this is also really bad for the dog owners, for you who sell dog food, who produce dog food, is that we don't really know which are the things that really bring the health benefits. We know we've been looking at the 2 or 4 different diets, the raw foods, the dry foods, the homemade foods, and then kind of home cooked leftovers. And the raw food always comes out as the best and the dry food mostly as the worst. So we know that from these 2 extremes, we can see really significant differences, and that we will see in some of the studies that we're looking at today as well. But really, why they come, we don't know. And one of the problems as well is that the science that I am part of, being a veterinarian, is that we should use only things that are evidence-based. And if we don't have enough research, then there is not really enough evidence for veterinarians to say that this is the evidence that we should all change over and use more healthy foods. So this is a slide I usually have in all of my talks. It's kind of all the things we have been thinking about and try to put in all of our questionnaires. There's much more as well. There might be the temperature of heating. There might be also different type of additional colors, preservatives, things like that we're not going to look at, and that we hope that other groups will look at. But it means that we actually don't know at this time why one is better than the other. We do know that one is better than the other, but why and how this works, we don't know. So we do a lot of research, like I said, on questionnaires, epidemiology data, and on clinical trials. But I think that we should also start doing much more kind of research in the food ingredients themselves and in the production methods. I'm going to skip over these. So the theme of the seminar this year is metabolic health or disease, health through diets and functional foods, ? And I think that the functional foods that we're thinking about is, of course, that we have foods that we know are healthy. So just giving raw seems to be functional food enough. But then all of the ingredients that can be put in there are, of course, making them more functional. So we can see already that raw food has been proven to be better for allergies and atopes and gastrointestinal chronic diseases, tartar, not really cancers yet, but what do we else have that has been published? Otitis, a lot of the kind of the most common diseases that we see as veterinarians. We've seen in the epidemiology data that there is really big significant differences. but putting more things into them, like putting glucosamine or omega-3 fatty acids and things might be really something that we should look much more into. Before we started DogRisk in my research, I did some research on supplements like omega-3 fatty acids, glucosamine, the green lip mussel, some other things as well, and all of those as well were shown to be significantly better in clinical studies where we used force plate analysis and also the validated Helsinki Chronic Pain Index. So we know that there is a lot, but as I say all the time, we don't know why. So this 2 days that we're going to have here now, we put in a lot of talks, so we will have like some talks in the morning and then half an hour with a panel discussion where so we hope that you would write down your questions and save them for the panel. And then actually at the 5 last minutes before lunch today, also Mush has asked me for 5 minutes, so I will give that to them. And then we have lunch today, and we're in the middle of Helsinki, so you're welcome to go and just have your lunch wherever you want, and we have given you a full hour for that. So just choose any place, and there's a lot of also of university restaurants here in the area. And then in the afternoon, we have more talks, and then again, the panel discussion. And for those who have signed up, we have the Friday dinner today is going to be in a pet shop. So it's in Mega Island. We're going to have to take the metro, some stations. It's not more than about 10 minutes with the metro. And then they have organized for us a buffet dinner there. And this is this we can thank Sanna and Mega Island for. Then tomorrow, we're going to look at the program for tomorrow, but it's more or less the same thing. And then for those who have signed up, we're up here, and then I live there. And so the second day, we're having a dinner at my house. So if there's more people who want to sign up, there's still some places left there. The workshop is going to be on Sunday, and because it's such a nice weather and you have to sit in for 2 whole days now, we squeezed it a bit so that it starts at 10 and stops at 2. And of course, if we think that we can leave already after 2 hours, we're going to see. But the idea there is that we should have time just to think about all that we've learned during the 2 days. I learn loads every time when I have this seminar, because there's when you teach a small part, but then most of the things is just new information for me as well. So I really love that. So the workshop is going to be in the same place where we have the dinner tonight. And because I'm really bad at answering my emails, if you have any problems with whatever and you can't get in or you don't get something or whatever, try to mail Sini or Sarah, because they're much better at doing this than I am. Also, this, now you can't really see it because it's a bit, there's all these things up there that's kind. So, but if you take a picture of this, and this is something that you can use also when you send out mails or things. This is goes directly to the Helsinki University website. So last but not least, we haven't sent one single invoice, so you don't have to be sad that you haven't paid it yet because you haven't got it, because we never get these things done, because there's always so much other things we have to do. The certificate of attendance is on the paper, on the table if you haven't seen it yet. Toilets are to the right and to the left. Coffee is on now, and we're going to get a second coffee at about 10 o'clock. And then we're going to send you, after some editing of the lectures, we're going to put them somewhere where you can all look at them at least until Christmas. And so please do that, and maybe until next spring. And then I don't know if we're going to put them out on our website after that or just before the next year's. Evaluation form we also promise to do every year, and we've never actually got it done. So there's just some things that we prioritize and some things we don't. But what we have now is the dates for next year. So please put these dates down into your calendar. So save the dates. It's going to be 1 week later, and that's because it's better for the students. And this year, we just had to change it because of another conference. Last but not least, we're having a crowdfunding, kind of a donation campaign ongoing. And if in any way you know anybody who could help, if you sell any products that have to do with dogs, if you do any services, please put this on your websites, in your newsletters and things, just so that it goes around. We've so far have about maybe 4,000 euros or 3,000, so it's like one salary for 1 month, more or less, for one person. So we just need very much more so that we can get this going. Okay, so welcome. Any questions? Du sätter på nästa.
Will all the lectures be available afterwards?
Yeah.
All of them.
Well, actually, all the ones where I know that Bernard, who's from Paris, he will. You can look at them after everybody who's been here, but they won't be put up in any place where they're shareable. But you can watch them for some time after this seminar. But then some of the lectures we're not going to be able to put in any kind of sharing space. Yeah. For one. Okay, so now.
Yeah, you can speak. Yeah, sorry. You should be able to still speak.
Okay. No. Oh, okay.
My apologies.
Okay. So as we don't have any time for a break, really, no, it's still not on.
Okay, don't worry. It's
No. So I'm going to start the next lecture. And the next lecture will be on a program that we had together with India. And since this is a co-project, I had very much hoped for Daniel Roy to be able to come here, but because of strange reasons, I think it's our new parliament in Finland who has made it really hard for people to travel. So actually he was denied a visa, and he was here already this year in February, I think, and we were sledging together with my grandson out at our cottage. And so I can say that in every way he's a very nice man and he's no terrorist. But for some strange reason, the Finnish government gave him no visa. So we're really hoping that he would be here tomorrow, because we have replead and everything. Anybody want, please? Mine. Number 1.
Your presentation.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes.
This slide.
No, the next presentation.
Okay, I see.
Number
Sorry,
2.
I thought that Donna.
No, we will be speaking in 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This one.
So.
Okay, 2 on that.
Yes, please. Okay. Okay. It's on at least here. Okay, now, and it's still recording and things probably. Jag har sett på vad heter det, Zoom, så du kan följa med det. Super. Okay, so now again, like this one. So, when you have lectures, it's always good to have disclosures. So I'm a co-founder of the Blossomer, the Finnish Takssuapu, and I own shares in Accents, the only shares I have, which is a medical, also kind of a disease company. And then we get a lot of funding, like I said before. Actually, the trials that I'm going to talk to you about today, and Danu as well, is going to show you some dogs of how they managed using this food that we're kind of putting through an AFCO trial, which isn't a real AFCO trial. So the idea is that when you want to say that a food is complete and balanced, then usually you will have to do a feeding trial. And actually, it's not really true, because there are actually 4 ways that you can say that it's complete and balanced, or actually 3 ways to say that it's complete and balanced, and only the first one is a test. So this means that if you have a food which is a bit similar to the one that you've tested, you can say that it's complete and balanced, just because you can say to FDA that this, or AFCO, that this was made in the same way. And you can also say it's complete and balanced if just all the ingredients are in the proportions that are kind of set out by AFCO or FEDIA. So it's actually not really hard to have a food. You also only need 8 dogs, and they have to be adults and of optimal body weight. They should be fed throughout the entire trial with the same food. The trial has to be 6 months. You can either feed them free-fed or based on energy needs. And then there's some clinical observations that you have to do. And actually 25%, so 2 of these 8 dogs can be removed during this trial for non-nutritional reasons or poor intake. So which I think actually poor intake is a nutritional reason, but I guess they don't. And then there's 4 things you have to look at in kind of blood parameters, which are looked at here. So we did a kind of small change of this. So these are kind of the criteria for being a success or a failure. So any nutritional signs of nutritional deficiency or toxicity is a failure, but then actually if 2 dogs fall out, that's not a failure. And if they lose 15% of their body weight, usually they're about 20 kilo dogs. So if they lose 3 kilos, that's not considered a failure either. If they were optimal, so we think that they become then quite slim. And then actually the 4 values, they are very close to mini values or very close to the maximum values. So it's really, really easy kind of to have a food that dogs can eat for 6 months, and that will be then called complete and balanced. So in this study that it's a population of dogs that live in a kennel, and they had the possibility to use only 1 food, and they used 3 different types of dogs, 6 small breed dogs, 2 medium breed dogs, and 4 large dogs. And none of them were castrated or sterilized. And they all had a body condition score of 4 to 5.5, so 4, 4.5, 5, and 5.5. And here you can see that they actually, although that we are going to report only that the dogs have been eating them for 15 months, then because of the age of the dogs, we don't actually say that they have been eating many of these foods actually for 36 months already and are then still very healthy. So the aims of the study is going to be that it's that this food that you can give it and you can call it complete and balanced. And the second aim is that the kind of all the ingredients that are in the food also would be comparable to this PEDIA recommendations or AQUA recommendations. So what we did was that we took in more dogs and also puppies. We used the colony average as something that we could kind of compare to. We did a very much longer test, so it was 15 months, and even as I said, very longer. You can feel them ad libitum, but because this is such a good food, they would eat a lot. So we actually do it on energy needs, but they need very much less, about 25% less of this food than kibble, just because it's so much more absorbable and so much more. So you can't use the same amount when you have very different type of foods. And this is something we have to remember in our obesity study. They were looking at kind of what they were eating on a monthly basis. We got all that. And then we have also a daily physical examination. And of course, we didn't allow any dogs to be dropped out, that all you have to report on what happened to all of the dogs. And then also we had 17 analysis of biochemistry instead of 2, and then 19 hematological values instead of 2. So it's much more kind of there's much more in it. And the diet that we tested is, as you can see, there's a lot of fresh chicken meat, chicken with bones and meat, whole chicken, eggs, seasonal vegetables, a very good food. It's not totally raw, it's very slightly dried, air dried, and a bit like the pala food that we have here in this region. And then here you can look at these later on how they were calculated, how much they would need. And they actually were fed twice per day, these dogs, and they had one of their 14 meals was fasting. So they had 13 meals in a week. Every Monday or Sunday, I think it was Monday night, they did not eat, they fasted. And here is an example of these different dogs that were in the study. So you can see that their weight ranged from about 9 kilos to the biggest one was 43. And then kind of how many grams they were fed over 2 meals per day. So all this we have data on. And then they had water access all the time. The kennel personnel was evaluated visually daily, and then also they had a very thorough evaluation with 39 different aspects that were evaluated twice every month. And
yes, so here are then all the things that were evaluated on this kind of things every day, like are they having diarrhea, do they link bleeding nose, temperature, appetite, free movement, all of these things are kind of looked at every day. And then the blood analysis are here. So what you can see is the ones that are green are the ones that are asked by AFCO, and these ones have to be bigger than 2.8. So all of these go really nicely over. Then the alkaline phosphatase is something that can be between 20 and 200. And you can see here, this one is good when it's over something, so it's good when it goes up. And this one again, the alkaline phosphatase is good when it's down. So here, actually, the yellow ones that I put down are even under what we call nowadays a normal. And it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. It just means that we really never, in dogs that are dry fed, we never see AFOS that go down below 20. It's really, and this actually means that they can use it, they use it for it's good for the liver, it's a kind of a liver and muscle measure. And then also bilirubin is the other one that I put here for you, which is really, that's also another liver value. And that you can see as well, you have, most of them are under the under limit of 0.1. So you have 0.01 or 0.05. I've never seen anything like this in my whole life before. That you would have like 12 dogs where there is like nothing bad in the liver. It's really amazing. And then also from the packed cell volume is what we call hematocrit, and this also should be over 42. So all of these go up, and you can see that some of them have really like so kind of thick, good blood. So this is really, and then the hemoglobin as well should be over 14, and all of these ones are that actually should be 17 and not 7. So the conclusion of this study actually was that we have dogs that if you put them through AFCO-like trial, and actually a trial which is much more rigorous, much longer, having more dogs, having also puppies, that we actually come out with a product that you could call complete and balanced. So this is something, why we did this is there's one English company that's done this before, and I think that all of the raw food studies, we should all do a trial like this. It's not really hard to do, and we all need kind of the help. Can you come here and put that on his, please? So, yes, so I think that this is something that we should think about, not only for raw foods, I mean, all foods that we think are better than the kibble foods, which are more or less filled with carbohydrates and fillers and preservatives that are very processed.